Dirty Batters. Welcome to episode 6 of the Inglorious Batters podcast. My name is Jordan. I'm here alongside with Rob and Adam as always. We are in week 4. Yeah, week 4 of fantasy baseball. It's obviously always a good time, always fun. Lots of injuries, lots of shocking revelations happening when it comes down to performances from certain people. So we'll be diving into that later as well. But first off, how are you two doing?
I'm fantastic. Can't lie. I'm tired as hell. My kids have been complete jerks the whole week, so I'm good to I got some adult talk now. Let's do this.
Yeah, man. The kids in particular at the age of the kids that you're fathering at the moment, Rob, they require a lot. So kudos to you for being present for your kids because that's the most important part. Even in the challenging days or weeks, as you're now week 2 now back into full time 3,
2 or 3,
yeah.
So I think they're getting into that groove again, and they're like, "Yep, time to be up, Dad."
For sure. Yeah, dude. So yeah, we welcome you here where you can drink beer and spit hot takes or whatever you want, Rob. This is more therapeutic, I think, for you than for anybody. Maybe even our comment group it's therapeutic for, which, by the way, guys, if you all your comments, we appreciate. Keep them coming all show long. We'll try to get to them as we can. So, but yeah, happy to be here myself with you two fellas.
How about you?
So I had a good week. It was fantasy wise. I had a horrible day yesterday. I netted -8 points. I made no ground.
Oh man!
Because my relievers forsaken me for the first time this year. So it was rough. My relievers have been my strongest point this year, and then one bad day. It's like the Joker and the Killing Joke. All it takes is one bad day, then you go insane. Granted, I'm not off killing people, but yesterday was a very rough day. But overall wise, I'm excited to see how my team does this weekend. I'm having a lot of pitching go. Like tomorrow, I have 3 pitchers. I have a pitcher right now going, Wade Miley, who is surprisingly doing very well. We're going to be discussing those takes as well later on in the show. But no, like there's a lot of surprises when it comes down to this baseball season between our teams. The St. Louis Cardinals are absolutely trash. How are your Guardians, Adam?
Well, yeah, they're middling at the moment. Offense is struggling full-heartedly. They're starting to show some signs of coming out. They're up currently 4-2 on the Red Sox in Boston, so I'm happy with that. But they're starting to show some signs of life. But yeah, my Guardians pitching, I'm excited. They've got a lot of young pitchers they've thrown into the fires here in the last 7 days. So with actually really promising results. So I'm excited about that. But on the flip side of it, the Kikianga Indians having a little bit of a rough week. 3-0. I started off 3-0. This is obviously week 4 now. So I'm also facing another, the only other in our league, the only other 3-0 manager left in Tom. But having a little bit of a rough week. Had some kind of goofy things happen with my roster, and just kind of, I've got a few things in the fire. I got a few coals burning that I'm trying to work through. So. This week, hey, this is a humbling week. And that's the thing about fantasy baseball is, damn, will it humble you quick?
Well, that is true. I remember last season with me when I was dominating, and then
you went on a tear to start the season,
and then I get mollywopped in the first round of the playoffs as a 1 seed, so that was great. How about yourself, Rob? How are yeah.
No, he's got a new team name. He's got a new team name. What's your new team name,
I do. Well, I gotta pull it up. I forgot. Lady Baldwin's nuts. I thought the name from the stat of the day was too good to give to let go, so I had to make a name out of it. So. Lady Baldwin's nuts.
No,
it's and as of right now, Lady Baldwin's nuts are pretty full, and hopefully on route to a victory this week.
Get you back to 500.
Yeah, it'll get me back to 500. It's been a weird season for me. Week 1 I came out, I had a couple really good days, and then fell flat, and then last week was just, I don't know what the hell happened there. So I don't know, but I'm playing a longtime foe, Brandon OG, the OG Brandon of the group. Known him for a decade now. Good dude. So I don't know. I hope I can come out on top. I'm up 305 to 298 right now. I've got a couple good pitchers going this weekend, plus a couple waiver wire pickups that we'll talk about here in a little while, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then a couple good trades a couple trades that I pulled off recently are paying off a little bit. So I'm happy with where I'm at. Hopefully I can carry it on.
So your fantasy.
As for the Reds, let's talk about the Reds.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. How's your Reds?
Give us a quick update.
Dude, I have no idea about this team. Like my expectations are low anyways, but they came out looking good. Like they were striking the ball good. They were getting on base. They were hitting it with power. They were doing everything they needed to. And then they lose like 6 in a row or some shit like that and score 6 runs.
Welcome to the club.
Or 6 runs. Or 3 runs. No, it was like 6 games. They lost 6 in a row, 2 series back-to-back, and scored 3 runs that whole series. And then they come up and they play Texas, who also has been crushing the ball lately, and they blow them away. So I don't know. Like I don't know if they're going to overperform my expectations or perform just right on my expectations. I'm not sure yet. They're fun to watch though. A lot of young talent and a lot of cool things happening. So I'm enjoying the season.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, every single podcast I have a Capri Sun. Every single one. Just throwing that out there. It's my staple. Before every show at the beginning, I'm always drinking Capri Sun.
It's true. And Jordan is our resident token. What are you? Are you a millennial or are you a Gen Z? What are you?
I'm a Gen Z.
Yeah. So he is he's our token Gen Zer. He brings youth and exuberance to the podcast. He also brings an unlimited supply of Capri Sun. But what flavor? What flavor is it? Is it Mountain Blast?
No, today is Pacific Cooler.
Oh, that's a classic. That's a classic. I got to tell you.
It's good. It's delicious. I'm a huge fan of it. But no, I'm surprised that you just picked up on that, Alex. I had one during the podcast that you were actually on.
Yeah. Now I will say, Jordan, when you decide to adult on a podcast, what you usually go what? Blue Moon? Is that your kind of go-to?
It's my go-to because it's easier to get, but I do like some Sun King.
Oh yes, very nice.
Hit me up with some Sun King. I'm cool with that. Or give me like a hoppy IPA. I'm happy with that as well.
You're speaking mine and Rob's love language, I think.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the sours.
No.
That's just me. That's just me personally. But the hoppier the better.
Sure. I'm with it.
So let's get into fantasy talk real quick. Obviously we are all mixed opinions on a certain character in in baseball right now. He's fun to watch. He actually played in Fort Wayne and is the home run leader for our high A minor league team. Fernando Tatis Jr. just came back.
Yeah.
Yep, there he is, Fernando Tatis, and he. Hang on.
Yeah.
You had that was probably a great cop. That was a great cop, and you got a gold mine right there. You got a minor league bobblehead of a all-star.
Oh,
Yep.
really? Nice.
And
Yeah, bro.
and
Let's
so
just hold them up.
Oh, sorry, I missed it. Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
That is nice.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
You
Got the
don't see
dyed
you don't
dreads on there,
see
too?
like oh god.
What were you saying? What were you saying, Adam?
Sorry. I'm gonna kill this computer. But you don't see minor league bobbleheads with that much detail usually. The fact
No.
that they've got him on a stick making a incredible catch, that's money there.
It's because they
Heck
knew.
yeah, dude.
They knew.
Yeah.
They knew.
Hey, real quick, fellas.
Yes.
I got and I've had this computer on for over an hour now. I did get the automatic reboot information, so yeah, I'll be back on in a second.
Okay. Do you want us to continue
Sound good.
our conversation with our first topic?
Yeah, because I'll be back in hopefully before you guys are done.
Okay, that's cool. All right. See you soon. So, like I was saying, that was a good segue into Fernando Tatis. So he is back. It's controversial mainly because he was allowed to play during his suspension in the AAA, the El Paso Chihuahuas, the sickest name ever. And he was play while suspended for PEDs, but then they classified it as a rehab game. And so there's people that don't like it. There's people that do like it. And so me personally, I don't think he should be playing. I think that he should have served a full suspension and then go into rehab games in AAA. That's just how my take is. But since he is back, that does cause a lot of changes with inside the Padres lineup because they, for some reason, signed Xander Bogaerts, who is a shortstop, and Fernando Tatis's position is shortstop, and then now they're oversaturated in the outfield. So I mean, what's your take on it, Rob? Like, should people that have Padres that are like everyday players be worried when it comes down to Tatis being back because they're so deep?
Well, I think your core, your Tatis, your Machado, your Bogarts, I think those guys are going to be fine. They're not going to see any playing time lost. I also don't see. I'm going to have to pull up their full lineup in order to pull it up fully. But I also don't see like Cronenworth. I don't see him losing any time, or Trent Grisham. I don't see him losing any time. So no, I really don't. I don't think it's going to affect any of the everyday players of the Padres. I still think that I think the Padres are in it to compete, and they know their lineup, and I think they know the best way to put it out there. And so the team that we see is the team that we're going to get.
Well, Trent Grisham is only playing because of his defense. His defense is good. His bat is not good. And so he could easily be replaced on the offensive side. But then you also have, who's their left fielder? No. Oh, Juan Soto. Yeah, duh. They have Juan Soto over in right field.
Juan, he's going to.
And so
I think
he's struggling hardcore right now at the plate. He's not looking good whatsoever. He's batting sub 200 right now. But
they're not
will that
bench
last?
Juan Soto, though.
They can't bench Juan Soto.
No,
because in the words of Traveling Board Gamer, he's a generational talent.
He loves it. He loves that term. I'm looking at their lineup. Juan Soto's not going to get benched. There's no way that's going to happen. Manny Machado's not going to get benched. That's never going to happen.
Nope.
Tatis, I don't think he'll get benched. That'll never happen. And the way Xander's playing, and then the pedigree that he was supposed to have had, because Bogarts is supposed to be what Tatis is. Like Xander, when he was coming up through the minor leagues, he was supposed to be on the same level as Tatis and Machado and all those dudes. So I think him getting out of Boston and coming to San Diego did good for him, and I think that he's actually playing up to his potential. So I don't see him getting benched. So I don't I don't think it's going to affect too many of these guys. I really don't.
Well, who do they lose? They lost Profar, who really wasn't that
Profar. No, and then Cronenworth being able to play anywhere on the diamond has really kind of just solidified his spot. So Ha-Seong Kim, he's been rotating in and out, and then they've got Trent Grisham, he's been rotating in and out. So that those are the guys they're platooning. I don't think it's gonna really affect the core players that at the top of their lineup that are rostered in 100% of the leagues. Yeah, those players that are going to be rostered in our league, like Ha-Seong Kim, yeah, our league, but our league is like a different animal. I mean, it's a monster of a league with participation wise. So it'll affect some of our players, but I don't think for like the general landscape of fantasy baseball, I don't think Fernando Tatis being back is going to really harm a lot of the Padres fantasy back.
All right, Adam. I'm on the fence of it personally. I don't truly have a true answer because I'm not sure that if it does or not. And with Rob's understanding, I get what he's saying. However, it took somebody else's job who was an everyday player last year or was playing very well before the season started while Fernando Tatis was on his rehab assignment. So I don't know. What do you think, Adam?
I guess let me just speak to Fernando Tatis as the player and the person, first and foremost, and also the Padres as an organization. I'm pissed because I think Fernando Tatis. My thing about him is we held him and we crowned him as a industry, whether that's the media, the fan base, just baseball, just baseball people in general. We basically crowned him as this, this superstar savior, which of course he was, and through he broke into the league in 2019. 2019 through 2021 were incredible seasons. 2021 being his age 22 season. I mean, he was only 22. He made an all-star game. And then of course we know what happened with him, after that. I mean, and the guy, the thing is, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him because I think he's a great player. And I will give him his flowers in the sense that he's made a huge position change this year, moving from shorts to the outfield. And actually, from what I've seen, and I've not really dug into the, analytics of his defense, he's looked pretty good in the outfield. He's made some pretty good plays out there on the few things I've seen. But you're also talking about a guy who has peaked in his career as far as games played so far at 130. That's the most he's played. That was in 2021, his all-star season. My problem I have with Fernando Tatis is two things. First of all, and I'm really not trying to be the curmudgeon here, but he's a cheater. Okay, he cheated, and my biggest problem is not that he cheated, because I know there are other players out there that are currently cheating right now as we speak. Hours. But my problem with him is where is the accountability from both him and the MLB? He lied. The thing is if you get popped, just tell us. Don't lie, because we all know as a professional athlete, you know exactly what you're putting in your body. Don't tell us one day it's because of a ringworm infection, and then tell us the next day, oh, sorry, no, it's a scalp infection. And no, here's the thing: you shot it in your ass, is what you did. And maybe that's bad advice. You do see that, and not just with international players only. I mean, we've got Ryan Braun, we've got a lot of U.S. players, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco, but
Barry
But
Bonds.
the thing is you got caught. Just come clean with it, okay? So no accountability on his part. I do think he's overrated in the sense that he's not available. He's never been available. As far as injuries and everything else, he's electric when he is available. But where's the accountability on the MLB too? Because I have a real problem with the fact that you got a guy that was suspended for 80 games while he was injured, wasn't going to play last year probably anyway with the broken wrist from the second motorcycle crash. I can't remember if he hurt his wrist in the first or the second motorcycle crash, which came out after the fact, but he had multiple motorcycle crashes. But then the MLB suspends him for 80 games when he's not even going to play anyway, and then lets him rehab while on suspension. I think that's some bullshit. But you know what? The biggest is with his organization. It's icing on the cake for Tatis this. Obviously he's hitting 206. He's got a 595 OPS. I hope to hell that I continue seeing that because he's going to get it from everywhere he goes. He's in it in Chicago. And if he is going to embrace the villain role, which is what it appears he's going to do with him in the outfield, that he's on steroids, that's fine if he's going to do that, but he better back it up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the San Diego Padres organization as a whole, which I have for the organization in the sense that at least they have ownership that does go for it. But I will tell you, AJ Preller, I think, has a sack of hair for brains because some of the moves he's made. I mean, you think of all the failed deals they had. I think Juan Soto, I was looking at the comments here as I got back in. He looks like a white dog turd ever since he's came to San Diego. Yeah. I mean, and you look at like the Eric Hosmer deal, just some of these other deals that where it's just like they're throwing spaghetti at, they're throwing spaghetti to see what sticks and results. There are no results, in fact. Not division title in any of those years. In fact, they were 22 games out of first place last year. I mean, the organization as a whole, I think, is just superbly overrated. AJ Preller in particular, I think, is just everyone gives him credit because he makes these moves, but where are the results? So that's my take on Fernando Tatis. I don't think he's going to make a big difference in fantasy this year. In fact, I think he's going to really slump from what his career averages are. But that's how I feel on Fernando Tatis. I personally just don't like him now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't disagree. I was obviously too young when it comes down to Mark McGwire, but I'm not a huge fan of his legacy that he left in St. Louis because he's a known cheater. And also when it comes down to the greatness of Barry Bonds, I hate saying that he's one of the greatest of all time, which he truly is, but he cheated. Like it's tough to come back from that. And so happy Albert Pujols never cheated. And I don't care what anybody says. He did not get no waiver. But no, like it's
not cheating if you got a waiver. It's not cheating if you got a waiver.
So he was allowed to shoot up his butt for his last season to get to 700. Man, I wish we had a podcast during that time. I would be going freaking nuts over that.
No, dude. I mean, it all makes sense if you think about it. You want to grow the game of baseball. Best place to do that is Latin America because that's where the best baseball talent's coming from these days, and you know that in Japan. So you make a spectacle of the probably last, like the two greatest Latin American players that our generation has ever seen play the game of baseball. You make a spectacle of it with Pujols, and then this year they need to do it with Miggy. Give Miggy whatever he needs to make it last, because those two dudes, what they did for baseball in general is incredible. But what they are going to do for Latin American baseball players, or Latin baseball players in general, or Hispanic baseball players in general, is going to be incredible. I mean, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be like what's his face, Pedro. What he does for all these younger players, and what he did. That's the kind of mentality Pujols and Miggy have. So yes, You give them whatever they need to take them to that next level, because it's just going to draw people into this game.
Well, that's a great point, Rob. But then also MLB from TBG, the MLB is hypocritical. Barry Bonds not allowed in the Hall of Fame because he cheated. Yet all of his numbers count. Yet they celebrated 62 from Aaron Judge. Yet they won't allow Bonds in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Barry Bonds deserves to be in the Hall. Okay. But does he? like before the steroid use, he was on the path of being the greatest baseball player that this world has ever seen. And then he juiced up and became even better. Like, I don't know. I personally don't think so. Like, I still think, in my opinion, I think Hank Aaron is the home run king. And then I'm gonna stick by that. That's why he's the second greatest of all time in our group chat. Which, coming in All-Star break, we're bringing that back to get closer to the top 10. But anyway, I digress. What were you saying, Rob?
Like, I look at this whole dilemma and this whole debate about Bonds being in the Hall of Fame. Our generation's going to say no, because our generation's the one that grew up with the heroes that ended up being frauds. Jim and Shane and Bob, they're in a generation whose heroes weren't necessarily juicing up. They were gambling on the game. Like, Pete Rose was a hero in baseball. He gambled on the game. So that generation, my dad's generation, they look at that as worse than steroids. They're like, oh, whatever about steroids. But to us, those were the heroes of ours that were frauds. I remember vividly, like, the Sammy Sosa and the McGuire battles. I remember that, and it was incredible. And then when it all came down to it and everything was all said and done, and then the steroids started rolling out, I mean, it was deflating. It was killer. I mean, I was like, shit, dude. Like, I spent an entire summer watching these guys do something that I thought I could do at that point. And then it turns out I could only do it. They could only do it because they put drugs in their body to do it. So I just, that's what I see. I see that's cheating. You cheated an entire generation of baseball fans out of legitimate baseball.
Right. And that's why it's hard to be rooting for Fernando Tatis, because when he was I loved Fernando Tatis when he was raking, when he was hitting all those grand slams a couple of years ago, when he was hitting all those home runs, and making those amazing plays in the infield. Like, it was exciting. It was fun. I was a huge fan of him, and I bet you two were as well, because he came from the Tin Caps. We gotta root for our guys that came through that system. Yeah. And that's why our group loves Trey Turner so much. But it hurts when a player that you like so much hurts himself by cheating his way to be good when they probably didn't need to.
Right.
Well, yeah. And again, and Jim mentioned it in the comments. There is such a hypocrisy in the MLB, and that's where I guess I really get pissed, is because there is such a double standard, and we all know, like Rob mentioned, that summer, what was that, 99 when McGuire and Sammy Sosa. I mean, we all remember that summer, and just how crazy that was. I still personally, you go to any flea market or any card shop, the amount of merchandise and memorabilia they made for that
still
specific home run. Yeah. It has absolutely no value because it was so overproduced, but I mean, it just goes to show you just how much that meant for the whole country, as far as the sports realm, but the hypocrisy, and that's where I'm like, dude, you know what? I hope that we don't let Fernando Tatis slide, because we are now, it's just like a whole different, a different age of fan, and just a different mentality, where I hope we don't let this slide, because that's the thing, if we're going to condemn, then we need to condemn, you don't give certain guys passes for, out of being prisoner of the moment and everything else. And that's where I'm going to have a problem with it if we let this kind of slide with Fernando Tatis, because like you said, we were all super excited when he was hitting all those grand slams and jacks, but dude,
yeah,
again,
like,
yeah, again, but like, was that natural? At this point, I'm going to say no, but I don't know.
The future face of baseball got caught. That's what hurt. Because he was supposed to be the next face of the league.
Yeah.
And then now we're putting all that onto Juan Soto, who's not performing at that level right now.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just the lack of accountability where it really just sticks in my craw, because that's where I draw the line, and no contrition really either. And I don't know. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. But, we could talk about Fernando Tatis all day, but I love it. I love it. I think that organization is just a shit show.
Well, they're in a mode right now when it comes down to, if we don't win a World Series within this year or next year, we are in a rebuilding stage for a long time, because we can't afford all these players that we have that we traded for on these friendly contracts. We can't afford them. Like, they paid Manny Machado big bucks. They just signed Xander Bogaerts to $1 billion, and then and then everybody else on their team is homegrown talent that contracts are running up, and then you also have players that they traded for. They can't afford all this, so they're like the LA Rams right now. They are in a mindset of, we are going to win a Super Bowl, and when we do, we are going to suck for a couple years. And that's what they're doing. That's what they're probably going to do. They need to win within these next 2 years, and then they're going to go back to sucking booty.
Yeah.
So we that was actually a fun topic. But now let's go into one of our favorites. This is going to be a weekly thing. We have 2 weekly subjects that we're going to be going through. One of them is going to be weekend streamers. So like we've made last week, every single week we're going to give a streamer update. We're going this is our streamer update, and then when we're having our off week, we're going to throw out a video of another streamer update as well. Last week was rough because nothing was working. My editings all got deleted, and so I just panicked and just posted it. But now since we're going to be diving deeper into it, we made it into a little competition. So currently, when it comes down to streaming, I am currently the streaming leader with 46, Adam with 35.6, and then Rob with 28.4. So last week I had a decent week. It wasn't that great. I had a negative, but then I also had a positive of 15 from Grayson. However, they pulled him early, so I didn't get the QS, nor did I get just a QS because they were losing, I think. No, it was tied 0-0. And then, who was my other pitcher? He was trash. It wasn't as bad as Flexen, though. So Adam actually had the best streamer. He got 44 points from him, but Chris Flexen really screwed him up, and then he would have passed me in the rankings, but this streamer really hurt him. And then Rob is the only guy that had 2 positives on his team, on his streamers, and it was like a total of 8 points, but the only one with 2 positives.
Which I would argue that if you're looking for an analyst, you want somebody who's going to not net use it negative points, and I got you
right.
So I did what I did.
So, and guess what? All 3 of us netted positive. All 3 of us netted positive. So we won.
Right.
Yeah.
We won. So this week, our streamers, again, we're picking 2. They have to be under 25% when it comes down to the rostered. And so let's start with the person that came in last. Rob, who did you get? Who did you choose?
Well, I took 2 Saturday streamers, so I'm hoping for a good outcome. I'm going to take a play out of your book, and I'm going to go with Grayson Rodriguez this week. I think he's got a better matchup, though. He's got Detroit. Detroit just doesn't hit the ball very well. Yeah. Detroit just doesn't hit the ball very well. He's got another start under his belt, so I do think that maybe that 6th inning is in him. I like Grayson Rodriguez. I've watched 2 of his starts now, and I think he's going to be pretty good. He's got a lot of good movement, and he just throws hard. So I like him a lot, and I'm going to go with him for my first streamer this week. And then I'm going to go with Yoni Chirinos of the Tampa Bay Rays. At this point, when it comes to streaming or when it comes to just your daily lineups, getting a Tampa Bay Ray in there is not a bad idea. They're hitting the ball. They're putting home runs out. So if you're going with something in just your regular old roster, getting a Tampa Bay Ray in there's not a bad idea. As for pitchers, Tampa Bay Rays pitchers are getting wins like crazy right now. So, I mean, I feel like there could be worse things to go for in a Yoni Chirinos. How do you say it, Adam?
Yeah, Chirinos.
Chirinos, yeah. Yoni Chirinos. On the season, he's got a .54 WHIP and a 0 ERA and 5 Ks.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be fun. Let's go. That's my streamers this week. Let's get some points.
Yeah, Rob, you got to address it because we did have a question come in on your pick with Grayson Rodriguez. You mentioned Brandon. Brandon is asking, why does he get into trouble, Rob? He's speaking of Grayson.
Why does he give up base runners, or why does he get base runners?
Yeah, well, I guess where would your? I guess. Let me ask you. Let me ask you it this way, and see if this doesn't answer Brandon's question as well. Where would because I think when it comes to streamers, we all have reservations because if not, they would have been on a roster. But where do you think? Yeah. Where is your biggest reservation with Grayson? Is it the length, where he doesn't maybe get you that length yet since he is so young?
Yeah. Well, his pitch count. I mean, he's limited. They're keeping him under 100 pitches per game, and he's getting to that 90 pitch count, by the 4th inning. And, sometimes, I wouldn't say by the 4th, maybe by late 4th. But I mean, he's getting up there in pitches. So that in itself on a young pitcher, take a page out of, Dusty Baker's book, circa Cubs time, and when he blows up pitchers' arms because he overpitches them when they're young. So I feel like Baltimore's taking precautions with a lot of their young players. They're slow to bring a lot of them up. They knew the position that they were in, and I feel like they're smart in that sense. So limiting his pitch count is going to limit his innings. But if he can start stretching that a little bit longer, obviously he can stay in games a little longer and get that quality start.
Yeah,
and so I like your Chirinos pick because that was my pick as well. I'm going to go next, mainly because I came in second last week. And so I picked Chirinos. That was my guy. You basically already explained it. Tampa Bay pitchers streaming him is probably one of the safest things you can do at this point. And
I do have to say something.
Yeah.
I do have to say, Jordan did submit his pick before I submitted mine. He put Tommy Chirinos, and then I didn't realize in the text because it probably autocorrected.
Autocorrected.
I realized it right away, and then when I looked back, I was like, okay. So this is not my. This is Jordan's pick, not mine.
No. Hey, you know what it is, Jordan? You know what it is, Rob? It's because Jordan. These iPhones are smart as shit now. So when Jordan starts typing Yanni or whatever the hell pronunciation of Chirinos is, they just assume he's bitching about Tommy Edman as a Cardinals fan.
Tommy is not even the issue, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he's not even the true issue.
You got way more issues than that.
Oh my gosh, it's a whole episode of issues. which you can watch on every Wednesday at the Birds at Bush on VSN Network, by the way. But I picked Chirinos mainly because it's an easy pick. He's on the Tampa Bay Rays. They win games. He's been pitching pretty well recently. Just like what Rob said, he has a 0 ERA. Man's doing very well. But this one is my big risk one because this man just got blown the hell up against Boston. Pitched two and a third inning, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 4 walks, and 1 strikeout, netting a negative 27.8 points. Playing against the Detroit Tigers on Sunday, Kyle Bradish. And I'm taking that risk mainly because when he's playing against teams that aren't good, such as the Washington Nationals, he gave 44 points. And so he's playing against the Tigers, who are not good. So I was hoping for that correlation with it. The man is sporting a 6.30 ERA. He's a big risk, I think, but he's on Baltimore, who scores a lot of runs as is. Their offense is really good right now, and so I'm confident that you'll be able to get the win with that, and maybe the QS. I'm thinking probably about 18 points from him total. So, yeah. But with Chirinos, I'm not betting. I'm putting down like probably 30 points.
So
out of Kramer?
Does that make
or out of Bradish?
Bradish, I'm giving him what did I say? 18 points. 18.
Okay.
18 from Bradish and then 30 from Chirinos.
Okay. So is that 2 of you guys now that have streamers against Detroit?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Yeah, those are good picks because let me just tell you, I like stats. So let me tell you, Detroit coming into today, they've scored in 24 games. They've scored 74 runs, which is dead last. They just to put it in comparison, you go to the top of that list. Of course, we can all guess it. That's the Tampa Bay Rays, who has scored 171 runs. So almost 100 more already through 24 games. And what's funny about it when you look at just run production, sorry, I kind of went down a rabbit hole when I saw that you both were streaming against Detroit. I'm like, well, how bad are they? So Tampa Bay Rays at 170. Yeah, they're insane. At 171 runs scored this year. The second place team is the Texas Rangers, which I think isn't probably a surprise to us because they've been on a tear as well, but they're at 156 runs. So they're still 15 runs less, than the Tampa Bay Rays. So great picks by both of you. Because also not only are they not scoring runs, as you would also predict, they, as far as a team batting average, Detroit is also dead last, tied for dead last at least, with the Kansas City Royals and the San Diego Padres in team batting average at 215. So great picks by both of you.
Who's yours?
So my picks, real quick, unless you guys have something, unless you have a rebuttal to that.
Nope, we're good. You're go.
No, yeah.
All right. So my picks, I've got, obviously the two streamers, which I think, is probably, we can't underestimate just how much of a strategy it is when it comes into weekend streamers. Now, full disclaimer, myself, I'm finding myself maybe a little too far out of reach to let go of one of the guys I have for one of these streamers. Just not had a good week. But my first streamer is going to be Rich Hill. Let me see here. I can't remember if he pitches Saturday or if he pitches Sunday. He pitches Sunday. Oh, no, wait.
No, he'll pitch Saturday in a doubleheader.
Okay.
No, he's got a doubleheader.
Yep, I see that. Okay. So, and like you said, Jordan, he is pitching against the Washington Nationals, which They are bad. They're terrible, to be honest. But when you look at offense, they're about middle of the pack in team average. They're actually ranked 14th at team average of 248.
Interesting.
So I mean and they actually. What worries me is when I see a team that's like, all right, middle of the pack, but they got some guys that can run a little bit. Just because I've just not seen very good, awareness out of these pitchers this year as far as as far as holding runners. It's like a track meet in some sense at certain games, depending on what team's playing. But yeah, I am going to go with the 52-year-old Rich Hill. And let me just tell you, man, this dude's been in the league since 2005. So you're not far off there, Brandon. What I will tell you, dude, I absolutely love what the Pirates are doing. I love the matchup because not only is Rich Hill pitching against the Nationals, he's pitching against Patrick Corbin. So, I mean, and with what the Tigers have, with what the Pirates have done this season, it's absolutely insane. I mean, they're 8th in the league in team average at 258. The biggest thing is we know where they're at as a team, leading the division, of course, at 10 games over 500, 18-8. But I saw something earlier today that I thought was the most impressive, and they gave the top 5 teams in the league as far as the best record in baseball against teams over 500. And of course, your Pirates are number 1 in the league with a 6-3 record so far. Small sample, of course. As far as teams over 500, they're 667 winning percentage. So I think, hey, they're playing the Nationals. I'm going to take the flyer on Rich Hill, and maybe I will take the flyer tonight. I don't know. I'm going to see, but actually, no, I can't. He's taken in our league. Even though this is where our league, I got to give him, our league has savvy, because when you look at Rich Hill, he's a guy that is, as far as all the ESPN leagues combined, he's taken in 4.8% of leagues. But of course, he's taken in our league. So I won't be able to stream him this weekend. But that is my first pick. My second pick, little less lengthy. I am going with a Minnesota Twins pitcher, Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober is young guy. He's not young in the sense he is 27. But he's only seen 3. This is his 3rd season, and he's seen parts of 2 in the prior years. But I'm going to hang
on. Pause real quick. There's an injury on on one of the best pitchers in baseball. Jacob deGrom exits in the 4th with an apparent injury. They're not going deep into details yet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jeez. No, you're good. That is a noteworthy. Yeah, that's terrible. But so predictable. He got his money, which is good for him, because that
guaranteed.
Dude, that's terrible. I can't even. I mean, and the Rangers are so exciting this year. Really,
they are so much fun.
Yeah, it's a huge blow. Which we'll get into that. Yeah. But no, so my second pick, I'm going with Bailey Ober. He's only seen 1 game this year where he's started. He went 5.2 innings in that first game, so I am looking to him maybe extend that pitch count a little bit. He's matched up against the Kansas City Royals, which, my goodness, if you look at that Royals record or roster in particular, it's so bad. They're dead last, 215 team batting average. The biggest thing that I noticed with them as far as K rate, as far as strikeout percentage, they're pretty high up there as well. So I'm going to take that matchup any day of the week. And the Twins have really impressed me this season. And it really pains me to say that, damn, did I absolutely blasted Joey Gallo on episode 1 or 2 when we were like, it reminds me of like the COVID years of like ESPN when we were watching like some of the most obscure sports. Like I I was just looking for something to talk about, and so I went with Joey Gallo. But boy, he's made me look like a little bit of a fool this year. But I'm taking
Jesse Winker sucks.
Yes, he does. So those are my two picks going into the it's the streaming weekend. It's such a huge strategy because I mean, outside of the streaming weekend, I think, when you get into the pitching aspect of strategy, outside of the streaming weekend, maybe the 2 starts per week starter is probably your other like real big strategy point, but it pays off. It pays off if you're within reach, of course, which I'm not.
Fun fact about Rich Hill. Rich Hill actually went to high school with Tom Brady.
Oh.
Well, that tells you how old he is.
Yeah, Tom Brady graduated like 3 years in front of him, something like that. So I think that's kind of cool.
That is actually really cool. So let's go into the next conversation. Actually, I'm just going to throw this one in. Let's talk about some trades real quick, just for real quick to get this out of the way. I got some trades here. So we have one that is actually quite different. I got this one on Facebook. It is Kyle Gibson, JD Davis. Is that? Yeah, JD Davis and Taylor Ward for Shohei Ohtani, parentheses batter. So he's not a pitcher in this league. So what do you guys think of that trade?
Just the Shohei the hitter, not Shohei the pitcher?
Just Shohei the hitter.
And who are the other 2 pieces?
Kyle Gibson, JD Davis, and Tyler Ward.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's so hard sometimes to give a grade on the trade, like, because I just look at most trades that, trades outside of our league that I see people that are posting wanting some advice on. I just like equate them to like, okay, they're in a league similar to ours, but when you look at a trade like that, you're like, all right, this can't be that deep of a league. Like, but even so, no way in hell I'm taking that.
No, absolutely not. Just for Shohei the hitter.
Yeah, for Shohei the hitter. So really, the only 2 pieces that you're really discussing here is Shohei and Ward.
Yeah,
right. Like,
because
Gibson
Gibson's pitching so well right now, and then you also have JD Davis, who's actually playing quite well.
Very well. JD Davis is stupid right now.
Right. This person is losing so much just for another hitter.
Yeah. Yeah, JD Davis.
Okay.
JD Davis has 16 RBIs. He's got 5 home runs and 833 OPS, 125 OPS plus. So a good 25% above league average there. I mean, and he's on a shitty team. No offense to the Giants, but my God, they suck. Sorry, Josh. Sorry, Josh Lewis in particular. And Tyler McGurk over there at Facing the Giants on VSN Sports Network. But my God, they pissed me off because I've got Logan Webb, and it's like, dude, he's put together so many good outings, but has not gotten the win because they can't get him any runs.
Sounds like the Cardinals. I'm gonna self-loathe. And then we got another one: Hunter Renfroe, Josh Jung for Tyler Ward and Connor Joe. So a waiver guy, Tyler Ward, and then 2 starters.
Yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it. If you're getting Josh Young.
So this person is acquiring Josh Jung and Hunter Renfroe. And then they're trading away Tyler Ward and Connor Joe.
Yeah, I'd do it right now. Yeah, I'd do it.
But is that a good trade, though?
I think so, because
I think it's a pretty good trade.
Yeah, I think Josh Young is one of those guys. He's an under the radar, and probably not for long, but he is an under the radar American League Rookie of the Year candidate. That dude's pretty good. He hits in a pretty potent lineup. He hits in a premium spot in the lineup in particular, right. And also the other. So it was Josh Young and who else?
Hunter Renfroe, who's
okay. So Hunter Renfroe
playing very well.
Yeah, and coming from, I'm literally playing a guy this week who has Hunter Renfroe on his team, and I did have Hunter Renfroe on my team last year, and when he's healthy, if he can stay healthy, yeah, that dude can hit the ball. So that is without doubt. And who are they trading away again, Jordan?
They are trading away Tyler Ward and Connor Joe.
Yeah, and Connor Joe, there you go.
That guy's a quiet dude.
Connor's due for some major regression, guys. I mean, I like what he's doing, but he's not going to keep this up.
No, I don't think so either. And, and it was like one of those things where I kind of tricked myself this morning as I was waiting. I was waiting on a customer, and I'm just in my truck, just shooting off a bunch of trades and stuff. And so I was trying to trade with my brother Alex, and he's like, "Oh man, I don't know if I can give up Connor Joe." And, because Connor Joe, he played in Colorado and benefited from that, and the numbers weren't that great, really. But now that he's on the Pittsburgh, who just absolutely fucking mashes the ball, and this is a guy who, no offense, Alex, if you're listening, this dude is starved for offense, and that's where he's at. He doesn't know if he can part with Connor Joe.
well.
Hey, by the way, real quick, happy birthday, Alex.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Yeah, happy birthday, Alex.
Yeah.
So let's do one more.
Back to the trade.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something about Josh Young.
What's up?
Yeah.
I watched him through the Red Series. I really like this kid. He's got a lot going on. He reminds me a lot of Pete Alonso. So I mean, don't I'm not saying he's going to be Pete Alonso, but he's very Pete Alonso-esque. So I'm on board with Adam here, and I do think he might be a good early Rookie of the Year, potential candidate here. So
yeah.
With Gunnar Henderson struggling, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Rob, I'll give you credit because I got to tell you, and I'll have to go back and look at the tapes, but it was either episode 1 or episode 2 where you mentioned Josh Young, and this is before the season even. We were still in spring training. I know that.
Yeah.
So you were kind of early on that.
I like prospects, man.
So let's do one more. Josh Jung again. They're acquiring Josh Jung, and they acquired Wade Miley, and they traded away Rowdy Tellez.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't think that's a fair trade whatsoever. The way that Wade Miley's pitching really well right now. And Josh Jung is performing out of his butt right now. And then Rowdy Tellez, no.
Honestly, yeah. I would have taken
Tellez?
No, they traded away Tellez, and they acquired those two guys. I don't think that's a fair trade.
Oh, it's not fair. No,
not fair whatsoever.
I like it.
No, I
like it.
I would take it. I would take it in a heartbeat too. Shoot, but no, it's not fair.
No, no. Yeah, I would probably. I mean, hell, take Wade Miley out of it. I would. I mean, if I was on the receiving end of that, I'd take Rowdy, or I'd take Josh Jung for Rowdy Tellez, no problem. Now I will say, the only thing that does kind of scare me a little bit with him, and this is technically his second stint in the big leagues for him. He played in 26 games last year. He has already struck out. In 23 games, he has struck out 31 times, which is to be expected. But what scares me more than that is he only has 6 walks to the 31 strikeouts. So, but his on-base percentage is at .333. So, but it does kind of worry me a little bit because, we've got now in his career, we've got a 49 game sample on Josh Jung, which you tend to get into that half a season, 81 games, the league starts to figure it out. Well, maybe he'll make the adjustments. And I think with Corey Seager coming back here in the next week or two, that should help take some pressure off. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
This is a wonderful segue. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Rob?
No, I do agree, and I see your concerns, and I actually, I see the validity in them, so I'm nothing to argue or nothing to add.
So let's have a smooth segue as we're talking about Josh Jung, and let's talk about some rookies, and let's round them bad boys up. I am pissed off, to say the least. I don't know what the Cardinals are doing. I don't get it. The reason is that they want him to work on his launch angles. That is the worst excuse I've ever heard. I do not understand why we send a guy that's hitting. I might add you hitting better than the guy that they brought up, Taylor Motter, who they just DFA'd. He cleared waivers, and then Cardinals signed him again. I don't get it. And then we have Paul DeYoung, who's going to ball out for the next week and two, and then he'll regress, going right back to form where he's a trash can again, and he's becoming Oscar the Grouch. So why hurt a?
It's about control, though.
It makes no freaking sense. The man is playing well. The one thing that he's not the greatest in is his defense, but that's because the man is trying to be a right fielder when he's a natural third baseman. The man has only played third base in his career, and then he just started playing right field last season. And so gotta give him that chance. And then the man is batting well. He's hitting low line drives 100+ miles per hour. He's hitting ground balls 100+ miles per hour, batting 279. Like, I don't get it. I personally do not get it. And yes, you did say it's for control. It's to make him cheap. We're trying to Chris Bryant this kid. It makes no sense.
No.
Which Nolan are you talking about, Brandon? Gorman, Arenado, which one? One of those two? Because Nolan Gorman's playing significantly better than Arenado.
So now you're saying you'd trade Nolan Arenado before Nolan Gorman?
Okay, no. No. Arenado's in a little slump right now, and so. But Gorman's doing very well. But no, what were you saying, Rob? I apologize.
It's 110% about control. They've looked at and they've taken an assessment on their early season, and they realize they do not have a pitching staff or a bullpen that are going to get them to the playoffs, much rather than fucking World Series. So why bring up your most talented player and waste a whole year of eligibility on him for nothing? Why do it? Why are you going to waste that? I mean, you're a billion-dollar corporation. You're not going to waste that opportunity. You're going to send him down, let him hone his craft a little bit longer, go ahead and understand that this season's going to be a trade-away season. You're not going to do anything with it. Wait till next year, and then bring him up when he's going to be an all-star as a rookie. I mean, that's the best case. That's the best scenario this whole thing has. Unless they go out at the all-star break, which they could very well do, and bring up, and then go out and trade for, two, an ace and a half, and then go bring him up for that, then that's fine. But they shouldn't. They should not bring him up. They do not have enough talent to bring him up into an organization that he's going to benefit from.
You make a lot of good points there. No, you do make a lot of good points there. My thing is that I just don't like. Wouldn't that hurt somebody? They're playing very well. They go into a little skid because he started slumping a little bit, which is baseball. It happens. Like, you can never yell at somebody for slumping after they've shown that they can do well. There's a difference between a slump and just playing horrible. Like, for example, Paul DeYoung, when he's playing, he's just horrible because he rarely has a good long stretch. When Nolan Arenado, he's had seasons where he's batting really, really good, top tier, one of the best in baseball. And then he struggles for like 10 or 15 games. Nobody panics because he's just slumping. Jordan Walker shown that he can hit major league pitching, and then he slumps a little bit, and we bring in somebody who has the same exact average career-wise than that slump. I
don't think I think you're looking at it the wrong way, though. I don't think they're looking at it as like he's slumping and we're going to put him back down because he's not playing to expectation. I think they're looking at it as we're not going anywhere. Why are we going to waste a whole year of professional league eligibility of this character who's going to be great? Why are we going to waste a whole year where we can get him at, bottom dollar instead of bring him up now and then have to pay him a year earlier? Why do it? Would you?
Yeah.
So say if you owned a business and you had an employee who might be doing pretty okay, but you had the opportunity to save a couple $1 billion, would you do it? I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, that's the business. That's how this happens. It's nothing personal against him, but they don't care. What they want to do is they want to put together a successful franchise, not a good season. We have a season that they're going to finish right now last in the division. Like, why?
Well, we're only 6 games under 500, which blows my mind. It feels like we're so much worse than that. We're only 6. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But you're only 6, but you're heads and tails behind the field.
True.
Yeah. Well, with Jordan Walker, I mean, to me, if I were a fan of the team like you were, Jordan, and I'd be a little emotional because, he has shown enough to probably stay up there, but because I and Rob probably too, we're both fans of such smaller market teams that don't have the payrolls that an extra year worth of control is worth so much. And Jordan Walker, who had, it was very impressive, to start the year with his hitting streak and everything else, breaking records. But he has struggled a little bit. He's playing a new position. He has no AAA at bats. I mean, it just kind of, it just makes perfect sense to me in a season that, no offense, the Cardinals, man, I just don't see a window for them to not in the division this year. And unfortunately, when you look at the National League, it's not just the division, but you've got, if you're not winning the Central, you're not making the playoffs. There's no other team making the playoffs out of the Central other than who wins that division. And if you can gain an extra year of control by manipulating service time, it just, it makes sense. And you can, the thing about it is, it's not a popular choice to make in St. Louis, but you've got so many scapegoats to be like, well, he's in a new position. He's got some work to do there. He hasn't had any AAA at bats. It's just like, well, hell, what you're actually saying is we do want to manipulate this. We do want to, and it makes sense to me. I'd be pissed too, though, as a fan, because, you want to field the best team, but unfortunately, sometimes fielding the best team and what's best for the organization don't always align. So that's kind of where we're at, I think, with Jordan Walker.
Right. It really is kind of comes down to that small market, large market, situation. I mean, anybody on the small market side has experienced this and kind of encourage it because it does give you a longer hold for success, whether it be as a trade piece or as, a potential an opening day starter for you. So,
yeah. But what I will say, Jordan Walker isn't the only casualty here in the MLB, because I've got a little bone to pick with the Tampa Bay Rays, who sent down my boy Taj Bradley. Now it's going to be hey, so you guys with your Yanni Chirinos pick, get it while the getting's good, because he's got about 2 starts before he's getting sent back to purgatory, which is probably the Rays, Durham or maybe the bullpen. I don't know.
Hey, we're streaming his ass for a reason. He's a short term.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's what. Yeah, get it while it's good. But it does piss me off because I'll be damned if I said before this season I'm not going to draft a Rays starting pitcher, and then I drafted Jeffrey Springs, and then he got hurt, so I replaced him with another Rays pitcher. And I said before the season, like, I don't like rostering Rays starting pitchers because they do all this weird shit on inning, limitations. And so now they're telling us they're sending him down to AAA after he's just dominated in 3 starts. To get him on a 5-day rotation. I think it is going to be like probably a 10-day type, where they're saying that Chirinos and or Fleming for Tampa Bay is probably going to get 2 turns through the rotation before they can get him back on a schedule. But, he was supposed to pitch for me Sunday, damn it. And that was a 2-start, that was a 2-start pitcher. And now I'm pissed. But that's just to show you that, man, some of these rookies and where they're at, and it's so hard to predict with fantasy baseball. But even so, there are a lot of rookies that are impressing. My goodness.
There is James Outman, man. What about him?
Bro, he came out of nowhere. Nope, I never heard of him.
I don't think the Dodgers ever heard of him. Like, the Dodgers had no idea who this guy is. He just showed up and started hitting home runs, and they're like, "Go for it, bro."
Yeah, you want to try?
Yeah, it's insane.
So far, out of the rookie, like out of all the rookies, the rookie of the year right now is like National League has been solidly held by Outman. So.
Oh, without a question.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been fun. He wasn't even a preseason betting option. Like, he wasn't even there for a lot of books until spring training rolled around. So that was kind of cool.
How old is he?
Yeah.
Is he an old guy or a young guy?
Outman?
Yeah.
I think he's like 20. Damn it. 23.
He is.
Oh, he's a youngin.
25.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. He's my age.
Hey, yeah. He's 25, or as I like to call it, 1 year older than Juan Soto still. Which is just insane. Right. Juan Soto's 24 years old.
Yeah, he should be a rookie, and he's out here.
Yeah.
20 years.
You know that he didn't even win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. See, that's
the generational talent. Juan Soto didn't even win Rookie of the Year.
Well, that's what's crazy because as far as teammates?
No, like look at the era in baseball in which he came up in. Like, you had Trout, Harper, and then it moved into Soto and then Tatis. I mean, it exploded after Soto, so I kind of feel bad for the cat, but
yeah, well, you feel bad in the sense that so he came up in 2018. Which he hit 22 home runs in his rookie season, but then in 2019 that exploded from 22 to 34 home runs, and that's 2019. And of course, he's not matched it since. But we all know what was going on in 2019 with the juiced baseball. I mean, the power numbers in 2019 you can almost write off because there's some players that have never even come close. Yeah, never come close.
Yeah, Manfred's a cop.
So, do you guys have any other rookies you guys would like to discuss?
No, not really. Other than the fact, I do want to discuss just a trio here of Cleveland Guardians pitchers because I'm so excited for him. Tanner Bybee, and this is also just a salute to the league and the fact that the 3 rookie pitchers, Logan Allen, Tanner Bybee, Peyton Battenfield, all 3 made their major league debuts in the last, let's just call it 14 days. 3 rookies. There's 2 Guardians fans in our league. and not a guardian. All three are rostered, and none of them are rostered by me or my brother Alex. So yeah, like it's just crazy because those are three pitchers that I'm super excited for, and probably going to try to maybe make a push to trade for a certain somebody. But yeah, I'm very excited for those rookies myself. But and of course, as Brandon has said, Corbin Carroll.
Corbin Carroll's a dog.
Yeah, he's been
Corbin,
impressive.
Yeah, he's been impressive, but he hasn't been like James Outman impressive. I think Corbin Carroll's been the most solid and most rounded as the early season is when it comes to like rookies that hit the ball. But I digress. Let's move to I want to talk about one rookie.
Yeah.
Off of my Cincinnati Reds. Graham Ashcraft, man.
He's good.
Dude, I am absolutely in love with this guy right now. 30 innings pitched. He's got a 19.5 K rate. Incredible. A 12.2 walk rate. I'd like to see that down a little bit, but it is what it is. A 56.1 ground ball percentage. Like over half of the pitches
you gotta love
half
that.
of the contact he's giving up is on the ground. That is beautiful. 2.10 ERA and a 3.79 FIP. I love this kid.
I mean, especially in Cincinnati.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of all places.
Right, a launching pad. And I too was unable to grab him. I had him in my draft queue, but I wasn't going to pay up for him. Just because I have a rule where I don't like to roster too many of my team players. Just a second. I'm going to mute Adam in case he's taking a leak. Graham Ashcraft, I'm absolutely in love with that guy. As Brandon said, Cincinnati's rotation for the next few years is looking pretty gross. Hunter Green, Graham Ashcraft, Nick Lodolo, looking pretty good. And then that bullpen is actually lining up pretty solid with Lucas Sims healthy, and then we've got Alexis Diaz, Edwin Diaz's brother, who pitches just as good as Edwin Diaz, just in Cincinnati. Dude, I'm telling you, Cincinnati's pitching staff is going to be pretty gross.
But you remember the last time Cincinnati had a chance to blow up? You remember what happened last time? Their team was primed and ready to be done with the rebuild, and then guess what did they do with everybody?
They dismantled it. But here's the deal.
Will it happen again?
I boycotted the Reds last year because they dismantled that 2019 or that 2020 team. So I boycotted the Reds. I refused to go to a game last year, and I held true to it. And I didn't watch a single Reds game on the TV. I listened to them on the radio because that's how I boycotted. I put my foot down and I said, "This is what I'm going to do," and I did it. But here's the deal: they dismantled a team of old dudes. They got rid of
Nicholas Castellanos.
Eugenio Suarez.
Good.
Here. Hold me out. Hear me out.
Okay. All right.
Eugenio Suarez, who still performs out there in Seattle, but I mean, he doesn't have much time left as being a tier 3, tier 4 power hitter. So they got rid of Eugenio Suarez, Jesse Winker, who can't hit anybody that throws the ball with the right hand. They got rid of Tyler Mahle, who was a young guy, but when you look at him, you think of your grandpa. So kind of an old guy in the same sense. And I mean, it makes sense getting rid of, Trevor Bauer, getting rid of Sonny Gray, and getting rid of Tyler Mahle, because you have Lodolo, Ashcraft, and Green that were funneling up. So it made sense getting rid of
those made sense, but you had offensive weapons though.
Yeah, but Cincinnati has one of the best young teams in the league right now. If you look at it, they've got Jose Barrero, the shortstop, rookie. Spencer Steer at third base, rookie. Jake Fraley, he's not a rookie, but young, out in right field. Nick Senzel, not a rookie, but young. I mean, they've got a young squad. I mean, if they can keep this core together, I do not see any issue with Cincinnati being an NL Central pennant winner by 2026.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. No, I got
Spencer Steer, dude. If you haven't watched Spencer Steer, this dude's eye is incredible.
Yeah.
Like he sees pitches out of the hand like nobody else.
Yeah, the Reds have some pieces, and like you said, man, in particular in that rotation, my goodness, and the back end of the bullpen, that Diaz and dude, Rob, yeah, again, I'm playing a guy this week who had Garrett Ashcraft, which I thought for sure he was going to escape. He was going to get out of there with the loss, and he got out of there with the no decision, which really pissed me off. Or did he get the win? I can't remember, but it was like borderline.
Are you talking about the game where they came back against the Rangers?
Yeah, that was like
it was a no decision.
Yeah, so that and then of course, like on top of it was like Diaz got the save, and the guy I'm playing had both of them, Tom. So the Reds. I got to tell you, the Reds are. I kind of agree with Rob that they've got some pieces. I think obviously, as Rob predicted, it was like at least 3 years away from producing, which I probably on track with that. But
I wouldn't say that's far from realistic.
No.
So let's move on to our last and final category today. Who is people that that people should consider to sell high or buy high or vice versa? So for example, my pick, I don't think this man will be able to sustain it. So I say you sell this man at a high price if you have him, Max Muncy.
Yeah,
that man's playing incredible. Leads the league currently. If I'm mistaken, am I correct? Is he still leading the league in home runs?
Yeah,
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, leading the league in home runs. Man's hitting above 300 right now. Like, why not? Like, if he's playing at this high of a level and you don't see it sustaining, try to trade him at a high price. Ask for like 2 or 3 really good players. Boom.
Yeah.
3 might be a lot. Let's do 2 really good players that will be able to boost up your team. That's a win.
What?
Yeah. What's up?
What is it about Max Muncy that you see he can't sustain?
I don't. The last couple of years has been rough for Max Muncy, and then he just randomly is able to hit home runs again. He's able to hit for average again. I don't know. I don't have faith in that right now.
Yeah.
Based off of his, if you look at his last couple of years, he's been horrible.
Yeah. But I could see a 250 average. I could see a 250 average being what Muncy is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see that.
With ISO Muncy. Number, right? His ISO numbers right now is at 465. ISO, for those of you that don't know, ISO is pretty much a singular way to tell you how many times or how often they hit for extra bases. So for every hit, ISO is pretty easy to read. So he's a 465 ISO. So he averages like extra bases. I think it's like 46% of the time. So that's a little high because average ISO for the league, I think it's like 137 or something like that, or 140. So I mean that's really high. But Muncy was also brought up as a power hitter. I don't think he can sustain what he's doing right now, but I do think that Muncy at the end of the year could be in contention for the home run leader of the NL.
Well, you could get a nice price with him though, if you were to trade him though.
Oh God, no, that's what I'm saying. Like if you could trade him right now, I don't
sell him at his absolute
agree that
highest.
He's not going to. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't necessarily agree that he's going to regress back down to like a 190 average.
No.
I do agree that he's not gonna be a 255 hitter all season. I mean, I think 240 would probably suffice, but he could definitely be in the conversations for 30, 35, 37 home runs, which is pretty solid. I mean, that's a good number.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No matter what batting average comes along with that. Yeah.
Exactly.
What do you?
But I agree. And he's a perfect sell high candidate because of that. I mean, to like speak to your point, he's going to hit those home runs. He's already hit those home runs. He's going to do that.
Yes.
But he's not going to have this batting average, and he's not going to be able to carry that ISO. So I mean, he's hitting a lot of. Where is his doubles at? Yeah, he hasn't hit any doubles. He has literally hit more home runs than singles. I agree with Jordan. You sell this motherfucker right now. That's just how it goes. He's got 11 home runs, 7 singles, and 27 Ks. You sell him right
so you went from I don't know, Jordan, to sell this bitch.
Well, if you look at his overall numbers, and overall numbers are encompassing average, OBP, and slugging. Average is at 254, OBP is at 411, slugging at 718. On his career, he's a 232 hitter with a 357 OBP and a 480 slugging. So his slugging is super elevated right now, but his ISO number is super elevated right now. But then when you scroll down and you look at his underlying numbers, and you see that he is striking out 30% of the time, and then that's kind of my progression. That's how I look at a player. Like, let's look at their overall numbers, let's look at their underlying numbers, and then let's look at their batted ball numbers. And so, that's a good call out. That's a good call out, Jordan. Because I was seriously about to put a trade in for Muncie this last week.
Did I just save you?
You did. But his walk rate, he's got a 20% walk rate too, though. So that's
Mookie just went yard. Leadoff bomb.
18 walks.
Against the Cardinals. Yay. All right. What do you guys think? Who do you guys think should be a sell-high candidate?
I got one guy that I think if you can get rid of him and swindle the hell out of somebody, do it. And this guy that I'm going to pick is he's in his age 30 season. Okay.
Oh, prime.
But that's Brandon Drury. Now Brandon Drury, I guess it's worth mentioning as far as he's having a pretty good year, decent year, in particular, a really good week this week. If you've got him on your roster, I would be trying to sell him high as you possibly can. This guy he's 30 years old. He hasn't played in he's played since 2018. He's played in over 100 games twice, including no, that's not true. He's played in 100. Okay, so he's played in about 130 games on average. So, misses about 30 games a year. But this is also a guy who he broke out in the league in 2015. He's now on his 7th team. This guy in particular, though, he this week, just to give you why I'm like, dude, sell him right now, because this week he is 10 for 20. I'm far.
Facing him.
Yeah, he's 10 for 20, and he's got 4 home runs, 12 RBIs already this week. He's a guy that, he's a career 252 hitter with a 739 OPS. I mean, not something to necessarily bat an eye at, especially in a deep league that we're in. I mean, that's definitely a rosterable player, but I think that is a guy that right now, he's getting a lot of talk. I've noticed in different fantasy, talks and stuff, that's a guy that if you could get rid of him and add him as a chip to get something a little more sustainable, I think that's my pick. So Jordan, you're playing him this week, so you know how hot he is.
Yeah, it's been horrible.
Yeah,
especially when you had a collapse yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
You know how the NBA has like the sixth man of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, like the MLB should have like the bench player of the year. It would be Brandon Drury every single year. The dude is incredible off the bench. The dude is incredible as a platoon player, and you can play the asshole anywhere you want.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say, Rob, sustainable.
I was going to say, Rob, yeah, I guess it would have been worth mentioning on the front end when I said to Brandon Drury, he does have third base, first base, second base, and DH availability. So, he's very flexible.
So who? Oh gosh, that was awkward.
I'm still here. I'm yeah. I don't know what happened.
Who do you got, Rob?
You're gonna hate it. Jorge Mateo.
Really?
I mean, buddy's playing. Yeah, dude's playing out. He's playing out of his mind. They just brought up another shortstop, and Jorge Mateo is a second baseman, right?
Shortstop, outfielder, and second baseman. Yeah.
He's a shortstop. Well, they just brought up another shortstop, second baseman. What's his name? Ortiz. They brought him up last night or 2 nights ago. Buddy is promptly gone for like 4 RBIs on 2 hits or some shit like that. Mateo has never been this guy. Let me pull up his numbers.
No, he hasn't.
But he's getting those stolen bases. He's gonna probably get 40 this year.
Yeah, the stolen bases are one thing. He'll get more than 40 bags this year.
Yeah.
And that's going to be your selling point. If you're going to try to trade this guy, that's going to be your selling point. Is stolen base. It would trade him to anybody that has any sort of a baseball vocabulary anyway. Because at this point, he's got a 15% K rate. He averages a 26% K rate. He's got a 279 average. His average is a 159 or 279 ISO. His average is a 159 ISO. He's got a 361 average. Average is a 236 average. The guy is not this. This is not him. And I understand his stolen bases are fantastic. He's got an exciting team playing around him. He's having a lot of fun playing baseball. None of that matters because the grind of 162 games is a hell of a lot more than the excitement that this game is going to bring these guys on the field. By the end of this, they're going to hate. By the end of this season, they're going to hate playing baseball. That's the fact of the matter. So this guy is not going to have a 406 OBP at the end of the season. And a 406 OBP is fantastic for a guy that's going to get you those stolen bases if you're relying on those stolen base numbers.
Right.
It's not going to happen. It's not possible. So if you can trade him and get somebody back like I don't know. I guess we got to wait because we're going to talk about underperformers, or are we still going to do that, or are we going to move on?
Yeah, we're probably. I mean, we're at an hour and a half. We'll probably have to.
Okay.
So make your point.
If you could trade Jorge Mateo, wrap him in a package, and try to get like Trey Turner, Corey Seager, because Corey Seager's going to be coming back soon. I think that would be your best option. I still think he's going to produce. I do think he's going to be a solid and a valid fantasy player this season. I just do not think it's going to be at the level that he's at right now.
No, fair. I agree. But also, I have quite a bit of Baltimore Orioles biasness because I really like watching that team play. They're so much fun to watch, and I'm sticking to my guns. They're going to make it to the American League Championship this year. I'm sticking with it. I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm sticking with it.
I mean, why don't you start at like a lower poll though? Just go with the conference, like the division. We'll go with the division champion.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll win the division, maybe, but American League Championship. Cedric Mullins going to
Damn.
AL,
So you think they're going to come in as a
ALCS,
put him in
baby.
the World Series?
wild
No,
card?
I'm not
Series.
putting him in the World Series. No.
Okay, they'll lose the ALCS.
Yes.
Hey, can I say something on Jorge Mateo real quick because it kind of ties
man.
into what we talked about earlier? You know, we talked about all the talent that the fucking moronic San Diego Padres have dealt away over the years and whatnot. So I just kind of wanted to take you back real quick to August 3rd of 2021. Now,
Oh, good day.
Jorge Mateo is not a guy that they dealt away. He's a guy that they designated for assignment on August 3rd, 2021. And
They
he was picked up
DFA'd him?
They DFA'd him. And on August 5th, 2021, 2 days later, Baltimore Orioles have claimed Jorge Mateo off waivers. So, again, AJ Preller, overrated.
He missed. So yeah, the show's gone on a little bit too long. We've had a lot to discuss. This has been a fantastic episode. But with that being said, is there any sort of last tidbits that you guys? Oh shoot! I promised some people. Hang on. I apologize. We have to do one more thing. We have a question from Facebook, and I should have remembered this when we were discussing the trades, but he just wants to know if he did good on this. John said, a trade I made, which was requested to me in a head-to-head points league. I was offered Sandoval and Alex Manoah for Sengia a couple weeks ago, which I accepted yesterday. The other team dropped Sengia.
Pick him up.
Should I pick up Sengia?
He's asking if he should pick him up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
pick him up.
Yeah. I mean, damn, dude, that just solidifies your place in that trade even more. I mean, and you know, he's Senga has not been bad. 26 innings pitched, 32 strikeouts. His whip's a little high, so I think he's probably he's got 18 walks. He struggled with some control, but I think, damn, that's to be expected coming from,
a rookie.
And coming from a completely different league, different strike zone. He was playing in Japan. He won that trade, and what better than to just stake your flag in that trade than to just pick the guy up that you traded off of waivers. I mean, my goodness.
Right.
Yeah. You immediately pick up Sengia, and then you change your team name to whatever that dude's team name is with a shit emoji. You shit on him. Like who the fuck does that? Who offers you a trade and then drops half the trade? That's a Shane
terrible.
move. That is a Shane move if I've ever seen one. Shane, you better do that before this season's over.
Well, I agree. I 100% agree. Pick up Sengia without hesitation.
For sure. Great trade on his end. Kudos to that manager there, because what did you say his name was? Tom?
John.
John.
John. Great job there.
So since we're at the end of our show, is there any announcements, anything that you would like to add? You two amazing bastards.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
I'd like to invite all of our listeners and then the other two bastards to play a game called So Rare with me. I know we've talked about it before, but I'm really excited about it. It's really fun. It's a digital crypto collecting game where you collect NFTs and you put them against other players throughout the universe, the So Rare universe of actual MLB players, in which you can collect and actually sell for actual currency, and put together the best team that you can and field a team on a weekly basis, 3 games or 3 days, and then you score and you claim yourself some nice cash and digital rewards. It's pretty fun. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty kind of easy. You set your lineup, you sit 3 days, and you're good to go. I mean, it's kind of cool that way. It's also fun because like I said, you collect, you keep, and you could sell your personal cards, your personal database of players. It's just a good time. I really enjoy it, and I'm having a blast with it. So for those of you that are interested, please go ahead and look in our bio. We got a link down there. It's also attached right here at the bottom of the video. Click on that. It'll take you straight to the site, and you guys get yourself some good promos.
Hell yeah, man. Get on there. Help us. Help them. And Jordan's there we go. There's Rob again.
There it
is. I'm giving the play-by-play here. No, yeah, please help us, help them, and use our link because it does help keep this show running, keeps the lights on here. Because this, there are some, there's some background stuff that goes on here that will help us. So absolutely check out So Rare. Get on board while you still can. Before they take over the universe and start yanking all the promo codes, man, because our promo code actually does get you a pretty awesome perk with a couple free packs to start.
Yep.
Dude. Like we can't take part in the promo code. Like since I've already got an established account, I can't go ahead and sign up for it. And I'm not sure if you guys could either because we're supposed to. But either way, I wish I could because that I'm like straight up those promo codes, those discounts, those are $90.
Oh, are they
$90? Yeah, dude. Like $90 prefabricated lineups that you can just start. Like it's a plug and play, so it's a good jump start. And that's not the only. Those aren't the only cards you're going to collect. You're also going to collect, I think, like 15 or 16 or maybe 20, like common base cards. So, but the promo code will get you guys some like killer gold players to play, so you can join the rare events right off the bat, and then you already got those rare players, and it's like that's half the battle. So,
hell yeah.
So
yeah, go ahead.
From the grapevine, I had my owl, my owl come fly over here with a note from Hogwarts that screamed at me that said that there's a special announcement that we have that's happening locally. And I couldn't really understand it because it was speaking in like some gibberish tone. And so I was wondering if you'd be able to decipher that for me, Adam.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We have a huge announcement that we're super excited about. We're partnering with our good pals, friends of the show, headline supporter, headline sponsor of season 1 of Inglorious Batters podcast, Old Fort Baseball Company. We are taking, guys, we're taking this show on the road, man. This is big for us, So for our local fans here in Fort Wayne, we will be appearing May 26th at Rudy's Cigar Bar, which is literally right across the street from Tin Cap Stadium. Awesome place. It seems like it's kind of a happening place before the Tin Caps game. So our awesome pal Logan at Old Fort Baseball has asked us to be a part of this awesome event where we are going to be hosting a live broadcast like we're doing tonight, but at Rudy's and in front of fans, and hopefully going to get some fan interaction. We're going to be with Old Fort Baseball. It's worth mentioning they're going to have a pop-up shop with all of their gear, hats, hoodies, shirts, plenty of stuff that is Fort Wayne based, which is perfect to wear to the stadium. And also Logan is kind of fronting, heading up a nice trivia night that he's going to be doing at Rudy's as well. And there's going to be a lot of prizes, door prizes, a lot of trivia to test your baseball knowledge. And so we're going to be running that. I would think our live show, we're kind of thinking about from 6:15 to 7:30ish, and then from 7:30 on, Logan's going to kind of be doing his and we're going to help with him on his baseball trivia with plenty of prizes. So this is going to be our first where all three of us are going to be together for a broadcast, which is super exciting. And to be partnered with a great company like Old Fort Baseball makes it all the more worthwhile. So please make sure you go and check out Old Fort Baseball at oldfortbaseballco.com. When you're there, please use our code BATTERS. That's our promo code. That's going to get you 15% off your order, not just your first order. It's going to get you 15% off every order you place with them. So please take advantage of that. Please support them because they do support us. And if you are available in Fort Wayne, please come out on May 26th. We would love to engage and interact with Bastard Republic.
It is going to be a blast. I am excited. It looks like Rob's room went dark on him.
I'm not sure what the hell's going on right now. My lights turned off. They turned colors and then they turned off by themselves. I have no fucking clue what's going on.
So,
oh god.
So we have great things happening right now. But when it comes down to the podcast, we are constantly trying to grow. So if you know anybody that plays fantasy baseball and doesn't know what they're doing, send them our way. We'll be able to answer their questions. We're very active when it comes down to people in the chats. And so with that being said, do you guys have anything you guys would like to add?
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think I got to just say, Rob, whatever technical difficulties you're having with your lights, it's so on brand for our podcast because we're inundated with like all sorts of technical issues, mainly on my side of things. So apologize for that, fellas. But no, great show. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank you for all the comments, guys. Appreciate the support. Please go follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff that is in our links below. Thanks again. And we look forward to, I will say one quick announcement. We are going to do a t-shirt giveaway. Real quick shout out. If you like the gear that Rob and I are wearing, we are wearing it in two variations. Rob's got the crew neck sweatshirt. I've got the 3/4 length baseball tee. It's our awesome logo. Very nice screen print. Fits true to size from what I can tell, Rob. I don't know about you, but
the crew sweatshirt fits a little bit big, but that's perfect for me because I'm a little bit big.
Yeah. So we will put these in our social media links, but this is our first design. It's our Inglorious Batters logo. It's available in 3/4 baseball, a crew neck, hoodie, regular t-shirt, probably 4 or 5 different colors for each. That's we'll put that in our social media. That's a company called Bonfire that is screen printing this stuff for us. So if you want to kind of support the Inglorious Batters podcast even more, please go check them out. Buy a t-shirt.
Support the brand.
Yeah, support the brand, man. It's really actually pretty cheap. I think the shirts are like maybe $22-$23. So make sure you grab those before we hit the road on May 26th. So that's about all I got, guys.
I got a cigar for anybody that comes May 26th. I'll buy you a stick.
There you go. And Rob is kind of a little bit of he's the in-house cigar connoisseur. So he's not gonna give you you're not gonna give him backwoods, are you?
No. I'll get you a good stick. I'll get you matched up with a solid cigar, something that'll fit your profile pretty solid. See where we're going.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Once again, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys.